Greeting a good day to the listener. Myself Drashti Vora over here, revealing my winter internship project topic, the relationship between stock market and economic growth. Here I would like to discuss the reviews and the variables extracted from the same. Starting for this, research paper number 1, the relationship between economic growth and stock market. The empirical approach in this paper suggests the relation as the unidirectional relation from stock market towards the two variant aspects considered, namely GDP and FDI. The research implies that the stock market development stimulates economic growth. Research paper 2, the relationship between stock returns, crude oil prices, interest rates and output evidence from a developing economy. A number of studies examines the effects of the innovations in oil prices in developing countries. The result in this paper suggests that the oil price changes are important factors in examining the variation in GDP, inflation, employment and real stock returns. Research paper 3, Stock market behavior and economic growth in India. The study uses stock market development indicators like market capitalization ratio, turnover ratio, value added ratio and two major stock indices of the country, viz. The Sensex and the Nifty, to examine long-term relationship between stock market and economic variables, and a primary survey to examine the impact of stock market development on retail investors. Research paper 4, the relationship between economic growth and stock market development. The results evaluated that economic growth can be attained by increasing the size of stock market of a country as well as a market capitalization in the emerging market like Pakistan. Research paper 4, Stock market development and economic growth evidence from a developing economy. The result in this paper suggests a positive relationship between several indicators of the stock market performance and economic growth, both directly as well as indirectly, by boosting private investment behavior. This may be especially so in developing countries where stock markets are highly volatile, causing the value of shares traded to be misleading indications of liquidity. Research paper 6, Impact of financial sector factors on stock market. The study investigated the impact of financial variables such as GDP, IIP, CPI, forex reserves, international crude price on selected stock market, namely Sensex 30, Nifty 50, London Stock Exchange, Nasdaq and so on. Research paper 7, Dynamics of macroeconomic variables and Indian stock market, an exploration. Dynamic interactions and causal relations among the stock prices and macroeconomic variables are imperative to the formulation of macroeconomic policy of a country is the study by research paper 7. Research paper 8, Dynamic relationship between stock and property markets. The combined perspective has significant implications in mixed asset allocation that includes stock and property investment. This paper investigates the long and short term relationship between stock and property markets. Research paper 9, this is causality between stock market development and economic growth, a case study of India. The present study tries to overcome the problems encountered by previous research by constructing and using a composite index of stock market developments. The findings provide evidence of a stable long-run equilibrium relationship between stock market development and economic growth in India. Research paper 10, Can stock market development boost economic growth? Empirical from emerging markets in Central and Eastern Europe. This paper aims to analyze the dynamic of the stock market in Central and Eastern Europe under the impact of macroeconomic imbalances, emphasizing the volatility of the foreign capital inflows. Now I would like to discuss the variables extracted from these papers. Number 1, in order to promote economic growth, developing countries should work on supporting and developing the stock market. Number 2, the oil prices changes are important factors in explaining the variation in GDP, inflation, employment and real stock returns. Third, stock market development boosts economic growth and influences capital structure decision of firm. Now last but not the least, the fourth, economic growth can be attained by increasing the size of the stock market of a country as well as market capitalization in an emerging market like Pakistan. Thank you. I hope you will like this.